So good day everyone, I'm Ydrian Noynay from BSED 2. So my topic report is all about the language and Millennium Development Goals. But before we into the topic, let us first know one by one to finding out what is language and Millennium Development Goals and also why the language matters on it. So, a language is a system of conventional spoken or manual or a written symbols by which of a human beings as members of a social group and participants in its culture express themselves. The function of language includes communication, the expression of identity, play, imaginative expression, and emotional release. So as we all know, that the language is the one of the most important reform and parts of any culture. In the way by which people can communicate with one another, building a relationship and create a sense of community. People's language are vitally important to them because through language, people can communicate, share meaning, and experience their sense of individual and community identity. Loss of language and culture is frequently accompanied by a large human and social cost, including poverty, poor health, drugs, and alcohol abuse, family violence, and suicide. Recognizing the profound importance that people place on their language is a core insight for tackling poverty and hunger. It is an important part of the move away from top down models of development that have been shown not to work and towards participatory development models, which often do. Properly conducted participatory development brings improved outcomes, both in short and long term. So a shared common language provide a focus for all stakeholders. Most especially we are talking about the Millennium Development Goals. And also a language is the most effective when creating together by a team, working together to develop common language to help to define a clear goals and ensure that team members have a common understanding which can help decrease the problem cost. Millennium Development Goals, or the MDGs, are a set of shared aspirations and efforts to make the world more equitable and sustainable place. At the heart of the goals is the recognition that for this global initiative to be effective, all people need to be included. Language is the key to inclusion, and language is at the center of human activity, self-expression, and identity. Recognizing the primary importance that people place on their own language to foster the kind of through participation in development that achieve lasting results. In 2010, this insight brought together hundreds of educators, development workers, linguists, government workers, and civil society delegates at a conference in Bangkok. Convinced that the language is a vital tool for the achievement of the MDGs, they reported on the many ways in which initiatives that promotes local languages are making a real difference to people's lives across Asia and beyond. So the aim of the Millennium Development Goals is to commit the international community to an expanded vision of poverty reduction and pro-poor growth, one of the vigorously places human development at the center of social and economic progress in all countries. In short, that the MDGs are to make problem resolves and stick to finding out and given solution and shared by the other countries. Or shall we say also that they aim to make a partnership with other countries like in the United Nations to promote a good sustainable life to every individual, and that is why through making sociable to others, language is the key is the is the by far most important reform in order to have a good partnership among others. So why language matters in Millennium Development Goals? Because language is the key to inclusion and at the center of a human activity, self-expressions, and identity. It showcases how language fosters participation in development with lasting results. So, what are the 8 goals of a Millennium Development? So, number 1, eradicate poverty and hunger. Number 2, achieve universal primary education. Number 3, promote gender equality and empower women. 4 and 5, reduce child mortality and improve maternal health. Number 6, combat HIV and AIDS, malaria, and other diseases. Number 7, ensure sustainable development. Number 8, foster global partnership of development. So goal number 1. In 2005, a case study looked at how a national poverty reduction strategies deploy communication. It recommended that poverty reduction plans should include a strong emphasis on engaging with the local languages. The authors noted that language has a very influential role in fostering the process and inform public dialogue for debate. And goal number 2, education is one of the most important ways for people to move out of poverty. And a strong basic education is the first step. Children who receive a good language is the key to inclusion and at the center of a human activity, self-expression, and identity. It showcases how language fosters participation in development with lasting results. Educational foundation at pre-primary and primary schools levels are in much better positions when they go on to navigate life's challenges. As adults, many children struggle at school when they are forced to learn in languages that are not their mother tongue. School systems that do not use learners' own language or respect their cultures makes extremely difficult for children to stay in a school and learn. Goal number 3. Women and girls are disproportionately represented amongst the world's most marginalized people. In developing regions overall, despite improvements since 1990, many millions of girls are still not in school. Nearly 2/3 of the world's 796 million illiterate people are women, and high proportion of these are from ethnologistic minority communities. Women from minority groups are often particularly excluded from opportunities to improve their situation. They suffer from compound impact of discrimination based on gender and based also on their ethnic, religious, and linguistic diversity. The ability to access education and information in their own language is vital for the empowerment of a woman. And goal number 4 and 5, much work remains to be done in terms of improving the health and life prospects of vulnerable women and children. An estimated of 10.5 million children under the age of 5 die every year. The vast majority of the children die needlessly from preventable causes, and many succumb to pneumonia, diarrhea, malaria, and measles, AIDS, and HIV. Malnutrition is the underlying cause around half of the deaths. Many lives can be saved through women receiving better information on, for example, nutrition, the important role of breastfeeding for child health, and how to prevent and treat infections, diarrhea, and malaria. So women need to receive health information in a language that is engaged with their cultural context. So goal number 6 and 7. So the goal number 6 is just the same for goal number 4 and 5, which is the reduce child mortality and improve maternal health. So let's go on for the next, which is the goal number 7. So sustainable development needs the participation of all groups, especially the ethno-linguistic minorities who depend on healthy ecosystems for their survival and future. 41, yet more minorities distance from the world centers and languages of decision making, and power makes them vulnerable to inclusion and marginalization. And we have the goal 8. The goal number 8. Sustainable development needs the participation of all groups, especially the ethno-linguistic minorities. It's just the same for goal number 7. 41, yet the minorities distance from the world centers and language of decision making, and power makes them vulnerable to inclusion and marginalization. The ICT can be a powerful tool for sharing knowledge and information in pursuit of development goals, and partnership between public and private sectors that must be strengthened to ensure equitable access to relevance and quality of ICT for all minorities, to developing and providing materials and software in local languages, foster participation and inclusion of minorities. A shared common language provides a focus for all stakeholders. It is most effective when created together by a team. Working together to develop a common language helps to define clear goals and ensures that team members have a common understanding, which can help to decrease the project cost. So the Millennium Development Goals, or the MDGs, together with the problem they oppose to resolve, that are area set of shared aspirations and efforts to make the world more equitable and sustainable place. So at the heart of goals is the recognition that the global initiative is to be effective. All people need to be included. And lastly, the language is the key to inclusion. Thank you and God bless.